Contemporary art is often performative. Performance art is art in which movements, gestures, and sounds replace physical objects. Like the art of the Gutai group in Japan in the 1950s, who we also read about. We read the Gutai manifesto this week. As they wrote, Gutai art does not change the material, but brings it to life. Gutai artists incorporated a lot of dynamic action into their performances, like this piece called Passing Through, in which Murakami Saburo bursts through a bunch of panels of paper, as if he's breaking through the traditional art-making practices and materials, showing how art can relate more to action and the human body. Ah yes, this is one of my favorites. This is Atsuko Tanaka's Electric Dress from 1956. Yes, it's made entirely out of light bulbs. They're all different shapes, sizes, and colors. And yes, it was meant to be worn. So she's taking everyday materials and making it into a performative piece. Along those lines was the movement known as Fluxus, a movement that emphasized do-it-yourself or DIY practices, as well as collaborative and participatory approaches to art. The word fluxus is Latin. It literally means flowing. It might also make you think of change, like when people say that something is in flux, they mean it's constantly changing. Fluxus also believed that anyone could make art, and that art was held in the mind of the viewer. Some of the very first examples of Fluxus art were the Happenings by Alan Caprow. Happenings were theatrical events created by artists in the late 50s and early 60s, and they were also usually collaborative and participatory. In Yard, for example, Caprow randomly scattered piles of tires around the floor and invited visitors to climb over them. He said he was inspired by Jackson Pollock's drip paintings. Just as Pollock had a certain amount of power over his drip paintings, the way it looked in the end was still very much left up to chance. Here, Caprow used the tires as Pollock would use his paint. Same goes for the women licking jam off a car from his happening called Household in 1964. And the title gives us an idea of exactly what this participatory event was like. These events blurred the line between what was life and what was art, and what was an everyday movement and what was a performance. Fluxus played an important role in opening up the definitions of what art can be. Yoko Ono might be well known for her personal life as the wife of John Lennon, but she was first a revolutionary artist and part of the Fluxus movement. She made a series of works that were instructions for how to create a painting. There's no image per se. Instead, the words become the image. Her concept was to guide the viewer to visualize themselves as the artist. Once you read the artwork, your mind imagines what you read and the artwork is complete. She didn't care whether the viewer actually created a painting, just that their mind had imagined that they did. In this performance piece called Cut Piece, she sits in the gallery and asks the audience to come up and cut pieces of her clothing off. The performance was recorded so as to archive the piece.
Very delicate. It might take some time.
All right, so to wrap up, what do these examples have in common? How are they similar to or different from what came before? Above all, They have in common the fact that they all blur the boundaries between art and life and take away the value we place on artistic skill in the traditional sense. And it gives more of the control over to chance, or even to us, the audience members and the viewers. All right, so that's about it for now. I hope you all are staying safe and taking care out there. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions at all, of course. And in the meantime, take care, everyone. I'll see you next time.